Idaho's Constitution guarantees a free public school education. It's the first section of Article 9 of the Gem State's founding documents. It shall be the duty of the legislature to establish and maintain a general, uniform, and thorough system of public, free common schools. Free hasn't always been clearly defined, however. The concept of paying a fee for school was first challenged back in 1967. Minidoka County High School tried to charge each student a $25 fee, half of which would be used for textbooks and a transcript as proof you graduated. The other half would be used for social and extracurricular activities. Well, the Paulson family, they refused to pay those fees. And when their son Dan graduated in 1968, he got a diploma, but he wasn't allowed to have his transcript to apply to Idaho State University. So the family sued, saying it violated Idaho's constitutional system of free schools. The case went all the way to the state Supreme Court, who said in 1970, yeah, that fee for textbooks and transcripts did indeed violate Section 1 of Article 9 of Idaho's Constitution. The school and the entire product to be received from it by the student must be free, the court said. But what that court didn't touch in 1970, the social and extracurricular activities part of Minidoka's fee. Neither did the other cases that ended up in the state's highest court since, which could be why, when it comes to school sports, several school districts in the Treasure Valley invoke a pay-to-play system. Well, actually, thanks to another lawsuit, it's now called a pay-to-participate system, since actually getting on the field or on the court to play isn't guaranteed, but I digress. Activities in athletics, according to research, are considered as a necessary element of public school, a significant part of the entire educational experience. And over the years, pay-to-play has been adopted by a string of school districts. While Boise still does not, well, West Ada began asking for $110 in 2011. Just last July, the Caldwell School District began asking for $100. And in the Treasure Valley, 5 school districts have pay-to-play fees, and they range from $50 to $110. Middle school athletes, well, they'll pay less than that. But those fees, they tell us, are a result of budget cuts because of, well, failed levies and less money coming in from the state post-COVID. That's the story Kuna School District is sticking with as well. Following its supplemental levy failing in the May election, district board members say they are $337,000 in the hole for, quote, sports stipend and transportation. So last night, the school board considered raising those pay-to-play fees for a second time just since the start of this school year. Aspen Shumpert listened to that meeting and spoke with parents who feel upping the cost again will price them out and keep their kids from even playing or participating at all. Here's Aspen with what the district decided.
I honestly could see it being the demise of high school sports for Kuna.
Before Tuesday night's board meeting, one Kuna mom told me the proposed fee hikes would crush programs. Already in August, the school district raised fees for ASB cards and athletic fees by 5% for this school year. Tuesday night, the board considered another raise for athletic fees, but this time a 42.5% jump in prices.
If prices get raised, it's going to cut off a lot of those opportunities for people.
This is the largest proposed fee increase in the history of Kuna athletics.
If approved, it would have made Kuna schools have the most expensive athletic fee in the Treasure Valley.
Kuna's, median living out here is, definitely not Eagle, or another place. And so for them to take the fee and hike it up so high is very concerning.
At Tuesday's meeting, some parents said they wouldn't sign their kids up for sports.
If you start charging those fees, kids are going to leave the district, because I will leave the district.
Or they'd have to limit the amount of sports to play.
And are you considering, not allowing her to play all of those and having to maybe narrow it to her favorite?
If this goes into play, definitely.
But at Tuesday's meeting, the district's chief financial director said state money and current athletic fees will cover a chunk of the deficit, leading the board to keep prices where they're at for now. I talked to a handful of parents after last night's meeting about how they were feeling about the decision, and they all described it as a win. You heard the crowd cheering in the room after the board made that decision. We don't know entirely if the rates and state funding combined will cover that deficit, because we have to wait and see how many students are going to sign up for sports this year and how much teams fundraise and other things that go into that. Kuna does have a supplemental levy. They will ask voters to pass this November for just over $3.6 million each year for 2 years. So Brian, if that levy passes, then it's going to free up some money for the general fund to be possibly able to take care of the sports stipend and transportation, and then the levy to be able to take care of some other stuff.
Okay, well, let's go back to those fees, Aspen, because you heard that mom talk about, well, Eagle.
Yeah.
And as you can say, these things, they vary by district, I guess, when they talk about these fees, as you showed. But what kind of money are we talking about here?
Yeah, and they also vary by sport, but athletics is really, this athletic fee is really the only third chunk of really what goes into.
So there's several.
There's several, yeah. We're going to take a look at some of this. Let's compare what it would cost to play football at Kuna High School versus Eagle High School. Each school charges for an associated student body card, ASB. Eagle charges $5 more per year for its athletic fee, but more than $600 more for its Spirit Pack. That comes with Eagle High apparel, hoodie, shorts, practice jerseys, that kind of stuff. But it also includes 2 season passes for home games, and Eagle also charges for 2 tickets to its football fundraising gala. Quite the difference between Kuna and Eagle, and so you kind of see that where it crosses families more than just once when you're trying to play sports at your public school.
More than $1,000 versus $242.
Yeah.
Quite the discrepancy. That's a lot.
It is.
My goodness. All right. Thank you very much, Aspen.